Hi, I'm Georgie. I'm a props artisan working at the Denver Center for Performing Arts in the prop shop, and today we're going to be talking about how to make fake blood. So the very first step you should consider is what kind of fake blood you need. This depends upon whether you're going to be using it on your face or if you're going to be using it on your clothes, if you need it to be washable or if you need it to be edible. You should also be considering whether this is dried blood, old blood, or new blood, or potentially creature blood, which could be different colors. Today we're only going to be covering human blood. So first we're going to start with an edible fake blood. This can be made from ingredients that you probably have in your pantry or that can be easily found at the grocery store. The main ingredients we have in this are Caro corn syrup, chocolate Hershey's syrup, cornstarch, food dye, and water. So first you're going to want to start with your corn syrup. This will be the base of your blood, so it'll be probably the largest amount of ingredient you need. Half a tablespoon of water. Half a tablespoon of chocolate syrup. A teaspoon of cornstarch, and mix that up. You want to make sure you mix things really, really thoroughly. If you're doing a lot, I recommend a blender or a hand mixer to keep your lumps out. When you come to the coloring portion of fake blood, you really want to be sure that you add a little bit at a time and increase how much you add. It's a lot harder to take away than it is to add. So I'm going to start with, I think, 5 drops. Which is actually pretty good. So you want to see. If my assistant Ashley would like to join us, we can drip a little bit on her skin. If you need the blood to be thicker and less runny, add more cornstarch. If you want it to be runnier, add more water. If you'd like to make your fake blood into more of a scab or something that's very coagulated or wound looking, make sure you just thicken it a lot with your cornstarch. You can also use peanut butter. Creamy is good to make it look coagulated. Chunky can make it pretty chunky looking and gross. Make sure you heat the peanut butter up just a little bit before you add it. That'll make it easier to mix in. And again, mix it really, really well.
Ew.
It hurts.
We're going to do a quick one with peanut butter just to show you a really nice coagulated one that you can do at home. You start with peanut butter. Creamy is a little bit easier to work with than chunky. You want it to be a little bit warm from room temperature. You don't want it melted, just a little bit warm, make it a little bit easier to mix. You're then going to add a little bit of corn syrup. And you are going to mix. You want it to stick and not run. So it really depends on what you're going for. Put a little bit of chocolate sauce in there. It gives you a nice deeper tone on the blood. And then we go to our food dye. Start with 3, I think. Oh, that was 4. Oh well. Going to add a little bit more chocolate. Consistencies and coloring is going to vary based on what you are using it for. So you may find yourself adding ingredients as you go, as you want it to be a little more liquidy, or if you want it to be thicker, if you want it to be more of a dried, older blood, or if you want it to be a fresh, newer blood. Just kind of go with what you want for your particular need.
Delicious.
So now we're going to do a washable, non-edible fake blood. To be clear that this has a dish detergent in it, please do not eat this. So for this blood, we're going to be using Dawn dish detergent, specifically the blue shaded one, corn syrup and red food coloring. You can also use clear dish soap, but I would then recommend using a little bit of blue food coloring. Okay, so we're going to start with a 1/4 cup of corn syrup. And we're going to use a little shy of a tablespoon of the dish soap. And then start with your food coloring. And start with 5 drops. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'll need to add more. So this right now is a pretty fresh new blood color. If you do want it to be more of an old blood color, you can add some more blue coloring. You can also add chocolate syrup to this. Anything that makes it a little browner helps with the old blood. Before you use this blood on your costumes, I would highly recommend testing it, making sure it's as washable as you need it to be. I would not recommend using a detergent-based fake blood on your skin too much. The dried soap can sometimes be an irritant. Now we're going to be doing a washable, non-edible paint that you can use on your skin and is used with ingredients that you might find around a household with a lot of kids. So for this blood, we are using a base of corn syrup, and then to color it, we are going to be using acrylic or tempera paints. So things like finger paints are great for this. So we have a red and a brown. I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup of corn syrup. And then we are going to start putting in some red food coloring. I'm going to start with 4 dollops. And then I'm going to put in 2 dollops of brown. And again, if you want a newer blood, you'd leave it a little bit more red. If you want an older blood, you make it a little bit more brown or blue. So this is a pretty good color. So, paint Ashley once again. That one's actually pretty good, yeah. So now we're going to talk about some delivery methods for fake blood. For starters, we have just an average squeezy bottle. This is great for creating splatter on your costume or on walls. Please check with your parents first. Then we have a toothbrush. This is great for creating splatter on a surface. And then we have what is called a squib. And this is a device that is used a lot in film and theater to create a action sequence blood. So this works best with a somewhat runny consistency, but as you can see, you can just do that. This is very simple and basic. Sorry. What do I want to use this with? Okay. For the toothbrush, this is great for like a finer spatter. Just sort of dabby it in there a little bit. This is better for fine spatter, very detailed. And now Ashley is going to demonstrate a squib. A squib is a blood-filled pouch that has a little bit of air in it. So this can be made either with a very thin sandwich bag, or in this case with press and seal. All you do is you fill up a little center, and then when you are ready to use it, you squeeze it. Thank you for visiting the Denver Center Performing Arts Prop Shop. We hope you had fun learning to make fake blood. Please don't do this on your grandmother's couch. Have a happy Halloween.